Hi, welcome to Dear Masteries. Today we have a letter, and the letter reads, "When I finish my workout, I really crave sugar and sweet foods. How can I stop this from happening? Sweet workout." Well, sweet workout, thank you very much for your letter. I just have to say that this is actually very normal if you're doing any sort of high-intensity workout or training. The reason why it's normal is your body is using glycogen, and that's what's stored in your muscle and in your liver primarily, and it really is your major fuel to help with your energy source. So our bodies are mostly going to use this glycogen as a way to convert into other things that our bodies are going to use for energy. So the less glycogen we have, the less storage we have, the more our body's going to crave it because it needs it refilled, or it wants it refilled so we can do more activity. And when we get exhausted, when we feel that heavily physical exhaustion, that's usually what it is. It's usually our glycogen levels are really kind of low. Okay, now your body knows that sugar and carbohydrates are going to help to replenish it because that's primarily what it converts into. So what I would recommend is right after you have a workout, if you are craving sugar, go ahead and have some. Have a little bit of something that's going to be healthy. Try to go as healthy as possible. And at this point, I'd probably recommend not having more than 20 to 30 grams of a fruit juice if you're going to have it. If you are on a ketogenic style diet, so that's a low carb or really low carb diet, perhaps try to have more of a branched chain amino acid. You can buy that supplement from a lot of the stores. It's just an extract of part of a protein, and that can help with it. Sometimes they have it flavored or whatever. Now, primarily, if you're trying not to get too many carbohydrates in your body, maybe have a protein drink, a protein supplement of some kind. Some of it will convert over to a carbohydrate source if it needs it, into glucose, but for the most part it won't. Try to stay hydrated. It's another key point. If you're really sweating a lot and you haven't drinking enough water, you haven't gotten enough in your system, your body can again crave sweeter foods and want to get that in your system. Something else is maybe have some caffeine before you work out. So coffee can help to regulate your blood sugar. Just make it, hopefully don't have any sugars before you work out. You just want your hormones to be at the optimal process when you are working out so you can lose the body fat, okay? If body fat's not a concern, then whatever, sky's the limit. But when it comes, I shouldn't say sky's the limit, we want to be healthy at all times, okay? But when it comes to losing weight, we want to make sure that we're trying to eat as healthy as possible while using the right strategy and completing our strategy in a way that's going to help to optimize our fat loss. And that comes down to basically removing as many sugars as we can from our diet and focusing on certain strategies. And I know there's some confusion between health and fitness, or health and weight loss as far as foods go, but that'd certainly be a topic for another blog. So you want to try to replenish your carbohydrates. You can go with a slower digesting carb, so something that has more fiber in it. So sweet potatoes. You could go with regular potatoes. Make it a whole food though, if you're going to do that. I would only recommend the fruit juices if you're an endurance athlete, or if you're doing something that's really high intensity. So marathon runners, they're probably going to want to get a pretty good ratio of glucose to fructose and combine it. Usually a 50-50 solution or something like that, and take it every 30 minutes or so while they're running, or even every hour depending, because they're going to go through periods of up and down otherwise, and they just want to have that constant steady feed of glucose and sugar in their body. So again, if you are craving the carbs, you can go ahead and satisfy yourself right after your workout with a healthy source. If you're on a very low carb diet, you may want to try to prevent the cravings from happening, caffeines, proteins, and fats even, before training, or you may even want to, take all of the carbohydrates that you are allotted for the day and have them right after you finish working out. Hopefully a slower digesting carbohydrate source is what you're going to choose, somewhere your whole fiber foods, so that it doesn't really mess up your hormones that you've worked so hard for when you're trying to get into ketosis if you're on a very, very low carb diet. If you're on just a low carb diet like I am right now, on the Strong Body System, which is part of the Weight Loss Octagon, right here, so the Strong, basically I'm just limiting my carbohydrates. For me, it's 51 grams a day. It's so easy to do if I just eat, whole protein foods and fats and stuff like that. Just gotta be careful with the nuts. You don't want to go too crazy with any nuts because they can have a lot of carbohydrates depending on the type of nut. But I can have the cheeses and the avocados and all the yummy good foods. Eggs, love my eggs and bacon and stuff like that. But and then I tend to get also sauerkraut. I can get a source here that's unpasteurized. It's really good source, so all the good bacteria is still in there. And I find that helps with the cravings for the sugars as well. And typically my first meal, about 10-15 minutes before, I'll take a shot of apple cider vinegar, and that also helps with blood sugar levels. So it depends on the reason for your cravings, but most likely it's because you've trained so hard and you've exhausted the glucose out of your muscle. And when that happens, your body craves foods to replenish that glycogen that would have been stored. So that's most likely what's happening. If you try any of those and it's not, feel free to send me back another letter, and I'd be happy to give you some more advice on perhaps what could help you in a different way if you give me a little more details. Okay, so thanks very much. Hopefully everyone's having a great day out there, and we'll see you on the next blog tomorrow. Thanks.